We have a little bit of germination on the green. Hopefully I can show you guys it because it is absolutely tiny. Flick up a picture of the screen now on the magnifying glass, getting a little bit of the seed that's germinated. So that germinated at day 4. Today is day 5. That's correct. But remember we had that seed pre-soaking. They call that priming actually, in a bucket. So it actually got a 2-day head start. So hopefully I can show you guys some seed soon. But today we're going to cut this. I'm tempted to do it with the Ride-On 2653B. Otherwise I do it with the GM 1000. We'll see. And I'm tempted. It's pretty dry. I reckon we're going to try it. Let's see what happens. Yo mate, what up? Welcome to another lawn tip vid. We're at day 25 here on this ryegrass. Now, it's pretty thick. There's some areas that are stupid thick like this, where there's basically no bare spots, because we got no wash in those first couple of storms, and the sprinklers don't really hit these areas too much and flood them. Whereas there's areas like over that section there, and sort of around the dam, where it gets a little bit too much water, so the seed washes. So we're having a little bit of problem with some thin spots. Generally around this time, we're looking at getting close to being filled in, which we're nearly there, but I still, unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to do another overseed with top dressing in those bare areas. So I'm trying to decide what to do, if I wanna get some more sand and do that, or I wanna get something like some mulch that'll break down and won't really impact levels over time. But yeah, it does look super duper thick. We do have this bare spot here, and that's actually from where I spilled that fertilizer. Oh dear, it didn't burn in the guts though, it just sort of burnt around exactly where the fertiliser was laying, which makes sense. We also got a tiny bit of burn just over here, which was where those black mats were laying the other day. But as I said, there is some thin spots like this, which in all honesty, that will not even need an oversow, to be honest. And I reckon even here, this is where we're getting lots of wash and pooling. It's honestly not that bad, so I'm just getting a little bit too particular about it all, to be honest. Like that probably should be fine, but I'll show you what I mean by wash though. Not sure if you guys can see it here, but there's seed washing just into little clumps all over the place. So it should be evenly distributed across here, because I put lots of seed in, but it washes down and collects down where there's grass already grown at the moment. So that's the problem I'm having. There's a couple of ways I could go about fixing this. Number one is I could take those sprinklers off 360 and just keep them 180 on the green, and use the Sumi around the outside, which I'm almost considering doing, but it means a lot more coming down here and fiddling around with it, which is going to be a lot of time. And the Sumi doesn't quite reach all the way around either, unfortunately. Or I could get a few more of these heat mats that I've got here. So this here is a heat mat, and that's actually preventing quite a bit of wash, because this area here was washing like absolutely crazy. So let's take it off and see actually if it worked. So we have a look just here. A little bit of wash, not too bad though, but the seed is all staying in here. So you can see little bits have germinated. This is 4 days since I did this with the heat mat and put this here. So you can see lots of little seedlings. So I'm thinking that's what I might do on the really, really bad areas, just to keep on top of it, because there's not that much of it left. Only really a spot over that side. A spot near one other sprinkler where it's doing the same thing, it's hitting the black plastic. And I think I've got pretty much enough of this heat mat to be doing that. Oh, and also this black plastic will be cut down below the soil level about 1 inch, maybe a tiny bit more, once the green has germinated completely and had a few cuts. It's really just so that the ryegrass doesn't wash on the green and the bentgrass doesn't wash out onto this area here as well. It's just to prevent them getting into each other. And it's also going to help me in time. It'll stop tree roots getting in here, because this is actually root barrier, and it'll actually help retain, like stop nutrients leaching out into the outside soil or from the outside soil in, and also help retain the moisture in there and stop it leaching out into the outside soil as well. So it's going to help in quite a few different ways, and going to have me more control of moisture levels and stuff on the actual green. We're not just going to get dry patches on the edges, which you can tend to get sometimes. I want to see if I can find some germination for you guys. I'll try to see if I can get some now, otherwise I'll come back tomorrow and we should see a lot more. So I'll probably have an update towards the end of the video. Now, can you see anything on camera? Because there is a little bit through here. I don't think you can see it. It's so tiny. Yeah, there's grass, little grass seeds absolutely everywhere. Bent grass is just tiny, so it's super hard to see when it first germinates and pops up. We need to get a cut on this now before that dries out, because I haven't given this a water this morning, but I wanted to dry this out a bit so I get on here and mow it. So mate, how good are those thick stripes like that? Those nice wide stripes. Man, ryegrass just stripes up like crazy. It's looking really, really good. After cutting it, it actually looks more filled in, only probably because it's laying the grass blades over. But I ended up just mulching it back in and went over it twice, 3 times in some areas to break the clippings up a little bit more and get a bit of a cleaner cut. And I think that's going to help retain a little bit more moisture in those bare spots and should help a little bit more with some germination as well. So I didn't need to do those edges, as you can see right there, so I'm going to bring down the landscape blade and do those. I've only done it once, so that's growing like absolutely crazy. At day 25 today, like it looks nuts. I'll show you over here too. The mower didn't go up in a certain area over here. This is how much growth we've had in 5 days, because that mower is set to the same height of cut as my Toro over there. So as you can see, the mower doesn't go up through here. This is how much we've cut off. Bruh. We'll probably cut off about, it's still pretty long actually, probably cut off about close to a little bit over half of it, which is probably not ideal. I should have cut it a little bit earlier, but it's just got away from me like crazy. So I think I'm just going to use that mower from now on. So much quicker to do. It does a really, really tidy job and it is ready. I just have to make sure I do it in the mornings before I water the green again, because I'm constantly putting water on the green at the moment, so this area is staying pretty wet. So I'll quickly get the landscape blade, let's tidy it up around the black plastic. Can't wait till that stuff's gone. Yeah. So I've got the rotary scissors here, or they're also called the landscape blade, whatever you want to call them, which the guys at Old Time Parts, which are now Yard Empire, so Jason sent these out to me, and mate, I do love them. I really do love them. They're great for just getting shorter cut turf. They don't tear stuff like a whip snipper and flick it back into your legs. I personally like them. Some people don't like them, they prefer a whipper snipper, but I am a fan of these bad boys, so I'll show you. Let's go get the really long grass and tidy it up. Glad I got that done. Now the steps from here on in is there's not too much to really do with this. I'll keep the liquid fertilizer up, so I might do a liquid fertilizer app tomorrow morning when I come to show you guys how much germination we have down here. And then really only a little bit of top dressing in the really, really bare areas and some overseeding. The only reason I want to top dress with it is because I want to cover that seed up and make sure it doesn't wash away. So I may get some organic mulch to put over top, or I may just use sand again. I'm still not decided, but you could do either way. The only reason I'm thinking that is to stop the wash, and then I might even put some of those heat mats on some of those areas that are washing a little bit more as well. But yeah, not much more to really go with this area. I'm really happy with the results of day 25. It's looking really, really good. Most of the bare spots are filled in. It's pretty thick everywhere. A few weeds which we need to get on top of, which I'll probably do in about 2 weeks time. I'm going to spray this whole area with some broadleaf herbicide on a really calm day that's not windy, so we don't get any drift onto the green itself. And luckily we've got that barrier around the outside too. If we did get a tiny bit of drift, it should hit that black barrier first anyway. But yeah, that's the process. Anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow for some liquid fert and for showing you guys an update on this seed to see if you guys can see any. Lots of seed has come up overnight, so I'll show you guys the bentgrass in a minute on the green. I don't know if you can see from here, but there's a bit of a green hue across there. But today we're going to get some liquid fert out on the rye, going to do our Brilliance, Nourish and our Fertilize as well. The main reason for this is again for the added microbes, potassium, and the phosphorus in there as well, which is really great for our seedlings and also great for an autumn time fert, all year round to be honest, but it's really good to get those nutrients down this time of year. But the biggest thing again is the beneficial microbes in here and the bacteria that's in here as well, which is going to be great for our seed to hold nutrients, because we are continually watering this area at the moment. So we are leaching some of the nutrients out because we're constantly watering to try and get seed up. So we're trying to get this as established as we can before winter time comes and a potential frost. So let's spray it out now and then I'll show you some seed. Right, so let's see if we can show you guys some bentgrass. I can see it. I'm really hoping the camera shows it up. Let's have a look. I'm sure you guys can see that for sure. Look at that, all through there. Everywhere. Coming up really evenly too. Like all across there, there is green haze throughout the whole green, which is just awesome, man. Really even coverage. Sowing with the hose really does make it nice and even, because you can really see where you're going, obviously, because you got water going out with it. So it makes it super even, and going over twice just covers you on every single base. So I will be rolling this in with the mow with the reel off. I'd probably say it around day maybe 10, 11 or 12. Not when I'm mowing. I'm just going to do a roll to level out all those humps and bumps that we can see across the area. But mate, look at this. It's everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. Bit of ryegrass there. But yeah, really happy with that result so far. Thank you so much all for watching, really appreciate it. Exciting to see where this is going. Remember, next step's going to be spraying weeds on the rye, oversowing, top dressing a little bit in some areas where it's a little bit funky, and then probably some liquid ferts on the green, rolling it, and then cutting it at about 21 days, and lots more stuff in between as well, lots of applications. And I'll keep you guys updated as well with how the seed's going and show you updates constantly. But thanks guys so much for watching, appreciate us. Subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, I'd appreciate it if you did. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys very soon.